Food shortage will be their tool of control. Stockpile food and water to prepare for a food crisis. Hi folks, welcome to the Financial Argument. Can you see the signs pointing to a coming global food crisis? If you don't, you may think preppers are crazy, or that the increasing numbers of people who've started growing produce in their own gardens are worrying over nothing. Some might think it's a waste of time when you can just go to the supermarket, right? If you think it's all just an illusion, please watch this video till the end. Maybe then you'll consider joining the preppers and gardeners like I have for the last few years and understand how serious the situation is so you can be prepared for the devastation in store. There may come a day when you need to run to the store for something, and you won't find anything but empty shelves in the supermarkets. The toilet paper fiasco we saw in recent months was a joke compared to what's coming. It's obvious that the global food supply chain is very vulnerable. Before the food reaches your plate, it goes through many stages, including harvesting, processing, shipping, sales, and more. Have you ever wondered whether the owners of global food companies that are making higher profits due to rising food prices are serving an even bigger plan in the background? Recent events indicate to me that this may be the case. We are very close to a global food crisis that will be triggered economically and geopolitically. Food shortage is more than just the spiking food prices or empty shelves you'll see when you go to the supermarket, and you'll know nothing happens by itself. Controlling food means controlling people. As I said, even though economic and geopolitical factors will trigger the global food crisis, it's always easier for people to blame environmental factors. It's like denying that the corrupt economic system is the real cause of the financial crisis we're experiencing today, and saying the health crisis triggered it all. Look at what's been going on in the last year here in the United States and all over the world. It's not difficult to predict what the next year will look like. A massive food crisis that was certainly deliberately planned and used as a weapon. Because the world is being redesigned by someone, those who prepare will survive. Sometimes you don't even need to create a food crisis on a global scale. You can see this plan manifest on a local scale. Go back 10 years and remember the Arab uprising. It was all triggered by the food shortage that occurred as a result of rising food prices, and someone got what they wanted. You can be sure that a father whose child is hungry can burn the whole street. Hundreds of fathers burn a city. Millions of fathers can burn a country. You know that the food banks in our country are working far beyond their capacity and are no longer able to keep up with the increasing demand to feed the American people. If you don't know, go to the nearest food bank and observe the situation. Apart from the scenes we're used to, I'll tell you about the food crisis in the U.S., then analyze the situation on a global scale. And as in every global development, China also makes an appearance. The rate of child food insecurity in the United States has reached incredible numbers. We have Louisiana in first place, then Nevada, New Mexico, Mississippi, Alabama, Hawaii, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and West Virginia. And the list continues. Some states have food insecurity rates of 30% or more. When we look at the largest percentage increases in child food insecurity rates, we see Massachusetts at 102%, New Jersey at 85%, Michigan at 73%, Illinois with 72%, and Nevada with 65%. These numbers look terrible. Remember that over 60 million people across the country are going hungry, with 1 in 3 Americans skipping meals. Some people won't even have their local supermarket to go to anymore to see those empty shelves. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Kroger. Founded by Bernard Kroger in 1883 in Cincinnati, Ohio, it generates more revenue than any other supermarket in the United States and is the second largest general retailer in the country. After local ordinances passed requiring temporary extra pay for employees, the decision was made to close 2 Kroger stores in Southern California. This is just the beginning. It may come as a surprise that a large company like Kroger would need to close entire locations because of a temporary pay increase of $4 an hour for some employees. However, many grocery stores throughout the country and around the world have permanently closed amid higher food and labor prices. Apart from closing supermarkets, another important issue is the seed shortage that is currently being experienced. Even if you take action to prepare, sometimes it can be too late. Seed companies are struggling to keep up with the record-breaking demand for seeds from both farmers and home gardeners. It's become difficult to obtain seeds that are normally readily available. Although some seed companies report that there is no shortage of seeds yet, many customers state that the companies do not have the seeds they order from the catalogs at a rate of approximately 1 in 3. More important than food shortage is water shortage. Before I delve into the global part of the food crisis, let's look carefully at this news about water. I hope it helps you form a clearer picture. In addition to commodities like gold and oil, water is now being traded on Wall Street, where farmers and hedge funds can bet on the future of water in California. This development underlies the uncertain future of water availability, especially in a state like California, home to the largest agricultural market in America and one of the largest economies on Earth. The stock market bubble, dollar collapse, currency reset, and other topics I've been discussing for years are all serious issues, but the food crisis is more serious. It's important for me to talk to you about the future food shortage from time to time so you can be prepared. I want to repeat, you must understand the seriousness of the situation. China certainly does. China is currently taking extreme measures to buy massive amounts of food from all over the world. You may have heard that China has had a very difficult time recently due to natural disasters. Their agricultural sector took a hit due to the floods and their food supply suffered. You might think they're importing food to rapidly recover from the situation. But if you do a bit of the math, you'll find that China's purchases are more than what would be expected, and even more strange is that purchases are far more than what they need and more than enough to replace what was lost. Some figures announced a few months ago have actually increased. I'm talking about a 180% increase in wheat purchases. On the other hand, if we look at corn purchases, the numbers are even greater. According to the USDA, China went from importing 60,000 tons of corn in 2019-2020 from the USA to 11,768,700 tons in 2020-2021. Why do you think China buys so much food? And they're not buying it just from us. When we look at Brazil, another one of the world's largest producers, we see that China went and bought up a lot of Brazil's production. China bought all of the Brazilian soybeans available this season, and they also bought massive amounts of corn. Well, no one can convince me that China is making these huge purchases just because they had a bad agricultural year. It can't just be explained so simply. It's definitely China stocking up on food because they're preparing for something. They know what's coming soon. Isn't the reason for this obvious? A coming planned global food crisis. Take it seriously, folks. Take it seriously. You can't control China. They can continue buying up food all over the world and stocking up. You can't control your own government. They just continue to destroy the economy and follow the same corrupt path with their economic solutions. But you can control your life as much as possible and do something for yourself and your family, whether you have a large property, live in a suburban area, or even an apartment. I'm not a gardening expert, but no matter where you are, you can do something and produce your own food. Just like I told you years ago to hold tight to your silver and gold, which is the real money, start growing your own food. Don't let them control you. Take this year very seriously, folks. In addition to all this, there's an ongoing container crisis. I believe this is part of the plan. The supply chain is getting more broken day by day. Some government-linked giant shipping companies played a game so they could profit. Now this game is about to turn into a disaster. I will also explain this fully in the next videos. Please also note the increase in food prices all over the world. More than 50 countries need outside help for food, making these countries easier to control. The FAO said that global food prices are the highest since July 2014 and have been rising for the last 8 months. The prices of meat, dairy, vegetable oils, sugar, and cereals have all increased. It's very important for me to warn you about the coming massive food crisis, and I'll continue to keep you informed. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to avoid missing anything. I end this video with the comment of one of my subscribers, MK Mason 2002. The 3 rules of storing food. 1. Shut up about it. 2. Shut up about it. 3. And most importantly, shut up about it. Don't forget to share this video with your loved ones. Thank you to everyone who supports me through Patreon and channel memberships. God bless y'all.